what's up everybody, Holding Ice with you here, bringing you Eden Zevo manga review. This was chapter 49, titles Captain Connor. This was a very lit chapter. Wasn't battle heavy, it was more build up. But we get the whole crew discussing on the ship, explaining to Shiki that it's going to take them 3 days to get to the Sun Jewel planet because they can't go straight because of this field of like trash where people dump their trash up there in space, so they have to go around, and that's gonna take some time. And they explain this and whatever to Shiki, and Shiki was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So we have to sit back and relax. And as they're discussing, you know, the Sun Jewel and stuff, we get this beautiful double spread panel of the Eden Zevo passing by a school of fish. Now the school of fish are giant-sized fishes, and supposedly this comes from another cosmos, and they're traveling over here for some reason. And through all that, Shiki notices one odd thing. There's a human with a space suit and the helmet, and he has like a I forget what you call those things that you see on ships. The pirates, not pirates, that all captains have to maneuver the wheel. Well, he has the wheel in his hand, but there's no ship. It's just a human holding the wheel like this. And he looks at them and he mumbles something. So Shiki turns on the communication device and he realizes the guy is asking for help. So they help this guy, and this guy announces himself as to be Captain Connor, and that his ship, they went through an accident and now his ship is missing. Now he says he went through an accident and his ship is missing, but it seems more like he cares more about the ship than his people or the mission itself. But Shiki had no problem helping him, and Shiki gave the guy food, and as they discussed and he's talking and eating at the same time, then you have this funny moment where Wise is like demolishing him, saying that's rude, that's not appropriate, either eat or talk. But then at the same time he says that, Rebecca is doing the same thing, and he's like, oh, you too? And it is funny seeing him demolish him, and then his own teammate Rebecca is doing it, so like, can't really win with that. And they allowed Connor to be on the trip for 3 days, and they were going to drop him off at the Sun Jewel, or on their way to the Sun Jewel. They were going to drop him off somewhere. And during this, you know, couple of days, I wouldn't say couple of days, but during the past couple of hours, Connor has been acting very weird. The first incident is that he said he wanted to go to bed, so they gave him a room, and the three sisters are very suspicious of him and don't like him on the ship, so they're keeping a watch eye on him, basically spying on him. And while he's supposed to be sleeping, we have Hamura and Rebecca in the bathtub talking about the cosmos and different places and stuff. And Connor comes out of nowhere. He's in the bathtub saying, yes, there's no places more beautiful than the cosmos. All the beautiful women, even though the two women in front of me are the most beautiful. And then Rebecca like gets scared and she turns around and she sees him, and he says, oh, how bold of you to be in a mixed bathing bathroom. And she ends up kicking him, but the Rebecca kicks in, this is not a mixed bathroom. So it was kind of funny seeing him get kicked and seeing him get fly off the panel. Then we have this other incident where he's teaching Pino how to curse, and he basically teaches her how to say F you, and I'm like, and nobody's stopping him, and just like, they just telling Pino, you're not allowed to use those words. If it was me, I'll be like, yo, she's a girl robot, don't speak to her about that. She doesn't need to know about words like that. But it was just kind of weird how they didn't like really find him like they ain't really saying nothing to him. They just told Pino not to say those words, but they still allow her to learn it, which is weird, because if you have a child, you wouldn't allow no one to teach your child or even your animals a bad habit like cursing or attacking people. So why would you allow this guy to teach Pino the curse word, but then you're gonna ban him from using it? It's just making the situation really worse if you think about it. But it was one of those funny moments there. And then Shiki, there was a couple of moments with Shiki where him and the captain are actually getting along real close, and Rebecca did states both times that, why are you getting so close to him? And then we have the three sisters very agitated that this guy is doing whatever he wants. He went to the switching room to switch his clothes to a better looking captain clothes. He's eating their food and drinking. He's going around in different like parts of the ship. And it seems like he's studying the ship, and the crew is talking about this to the Shiki, And at the same time they're talking about this, the Eden Zero, a ship alert activates, and someone's in the main deck controlling the ship. And when they went, he was sitting down in the captain's log, steering the ship. And they was like, "What are you doing here?" And he was like, "Well, me being a captain, I'm doing my captain's job." And then he said something about the Eden Zero. "I can use this ship, since this is a really good quality ship, and I can use it to take you on one day to the Sun Jewel." And they didn't believe him at first, but when he turned like this and he let them see the front of the window screen where the captain looks out where he's driving from, they actually are in front of the planet, the Sun Jewel. He got there in a day. And they were like, and then Sister Witch came up and she's like, "Yo, who are you?" And then he replied, as you see in one of my thumbnails, he's like, "I am the captain of Eden 1. And that's when the chapter ends. Now, this could be a very, very good thing or a very, very bad thing, depending on how he will write this. But so far, the story's been good, so I'm believing his pen game, since I am a big fan of Rave Master and Fairy Tail, and Monster Soul and Monster Hunter, which are mangas that Hiro Mashima made. But talking about the good that can come from this, the fact that he said he's from Eden 1 ship, does that mean there's more Edens? There's an Eden 2, 3, and 4? And if that's the case, that takes away the value of the Eden Zero. Because the whole point of the last 2 chapters we had was that the Eden Zero was a ship of his own. There was no ship that can match it. Once all 4 Star Sisters are there with their captains, no one can match the ship. So, the fact that he's a captain from Eden 1 spaceship, and he says this spaceship is similar to his, that kind of devalues the worth of something, you know? Because if you got something that is one of a kind, its value skyrockets. But if more are produced of that equal kind or more, better, then that drops the production rate and the value of that object. So it's kind of weird that he's the captain of Eden 1. Because if there's an Eden 1, we have to assume there's an Eden 2, 3, and 4, and so forth. Which brings me to the point of why there are more Eden 1s. And who's replicating the ship? If those ships are replicated off of Eden Zero. I mean, is Valkyrie behind this? Is Valkyrie making demi versions of the Eden Zero to sell them for cash? I mean, supposedly she's supposed to be on the Sun Jewel planet, which is a planet where there's nothing but rich people, and all the non-rich people are poor people who are working for the rich people. So, which kind of sounds like slavery to me, but it could be a twist of fate and it could be something else. We don't know how Mashima's gonna, take this route. But it's very unique to see that. And it's just weird that there's an Eden 1. Now, talking about him getting here, he said he had a technique that helped him get here. Most likely, he had an ether gear that helped him with traveling. I forgot to mention this earlier, but earlier in the chapter, it was stated that Ziggy, which is the nickname for the Demon King, Shiki's grandfather, that he deleted all their travel data for some odd reason, and they don't know why. Shiki just laughed and blew it off, saying, "Hey, maybe grandfather wanted us to explore more and get more adventures out of this, instead of depending on his data from his adventure." Which kind of makes sense. I'm very surprised Shiki thought that way. But at the same time, Rebecca did state maybe he just overthinking things and being too joyful. So it could be either or. But the fact that this guy with no data on the ship, the fact that he made it here in a day by himself with the capability of Eden Zero, it lets us know that he most likely has ether gear. And his ether gear probably has something to do with time or traveling. So if he didn't speed up time with his ether gear, if it's something with time manipulation, it's most likely something to do with traveling manipulation. Maybe increasing the momentum or the speed of something, or maybe increasing like a barrier around it to protect it, so he was able to go through the trash wave with no problem. He had some type of ether that helped him get here so quickly. He must have, because on skill alone, he shouldn't have been able to get here. Even Sister Witch clarified that it's almost impossible for us to get here through the route that you took, which was through the garbage route, the route they were trying to avoid in the first place. So yeah, Captain Connor is very, very interesting. He looked like an old, chubby man, something that you wouldn't really be scared of, But after that face that he puts on and the fact that he was able to get here in one day, and he's the head captain of Eden 1, that's some pretty scary stuff. But yeah, guys, that was the chapters all I have for you. Like, comment, share, subscribe, share with your family and friends. Give this video a like. Follow me on Twitter, link be down below. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I post the upload. And tell me down below your thoughts and comments and opinions and what you liked and didn't like about the chapter, and how you feel towards Connor. Can we trust him? Can he be an ally? Will he be an enemy? Since Ziggy was the old captain of Eden Zero, maybe this captain is either gonna take his place, or maybe he's gonna train Shiki to be a captain. Everyone has a role on the ship except Shiki, if you really think about it. So maybe this is gonna be his time to shine. Maybe this guy is gonna teach Shiki how to be a captain and how to navigate and travel. Just throwing that theory out there. But it's like I said, guys, that's what I have for you. Peace out and have a good one.